मिल पा. Without women, there would not have been any enlightenment. That's the cause why women themselves don't become enlightened. They are continuously engaged in making men enlightened. They don't have time enough for themselves. Their sacrifice is great. There is an incident in Gautam Buddha's life. When he was born, he was a very late old man's son. The father was praying to the gods. Otherwise, who is going to inherit the kingdom? Finally, Gautam Buddha was born. There was great celebration. But in the whole celebration, the most important thing that happened was a great enlightened sage who lived in the Himalayas, and people used to go just to feel his presence, just to look into his eyes, just to hear his words which indicate towards the wordless, his silence, his music. His very being was music. His very presence was an invisible dance. He was very old. He suddenly got up and rushed towards Gautam Buddha's house. It was a long journey from the Himalayas. But he said to his disciples, he has to do it. He will not be born again. Enlightenment means ultimate death. You will not have another imprisonment in a body, in desires, in jealousies, in all kinds of uglinesses. You will be here, but just a pure breeze merged in the whole. He said, I am not going to be born again. And Gautam Buddha is just born. He will become one day the greatest enlightened one. I want to touch his feet because our meeting can happen only now. The king was very much impressed. He could not believe. He wanted the old sage to bless the child. He said, bring the child. Rather than blessing him, he touched his feet, and tears rolled down from his eyes. The king said, what is the matter? Is there something wrong? Is there some fatality? Some danger? He said, no, I am crying because I will not see this beautiful being, blossoming in its utter beauty. But I am happy that at least I have touched his feet. This created a great trouble in the mind of Buddha's father. It means he is going to become enlightened, a sage, then who is going to take care of the kingdom? He will renounce the world. He called all the astrologers of his kingdom and asked them to find out the future of the boy. They all looked at his birth chart, remained silent. Each looked at the other that you said, because the old man may have a heart attack. But a young man, Konda, was not very much concerned about anything except the truth. He said, listen, these all old astrologers are silent because they don't want to say something which may hurt you. But I have to say it. Whether it hurts you or not is not my business. You have called me. The chart is before me. This boy has two possibilities. Either he become a world conqueror, a Chakravarti, or he become one of the greatest enlightened person. A new problem arose: how to prevent his enlightenment. All the astrologers suggested, and what they suggested in fact became the cause of his enlightenment. They knew astrology, but they did not know anything about enlightenment. They said, give him all luxury, all pleasures. Never allow him to see anything miserable, old, dead. Not even in his garden a leaf should be left dead. In the night, all dead leaves should be removed, and surround him by all the beautiful girls of the kingdom. Let life be just a playfulness to him. Then there is no need to renounce it. Obviously, one renounces life because it is not all playfulness. It is just the opposite. A long, long agony. The Gautam Buddha's father arranged everything, beautiful palaces for him, for different seasons in different places, far away people. He was not allowed to move in the people. No old man, no old woman, no dead person was allowed in his palaces. and all beautiful girls were his playmates. He grew in immense luxury. Perhaps nobody has grown the way he grew. And the astrologer said, as soon as he is young enough and mature enough, get him tied in marriage. One of the most beautiful women, Yasodhara, was chosen to be his wife. His whole life was just pleasure. The whole night was dance, song, music, women, wine, and the whole day was to rest, sleep. But this whole situation created the impetus for enlightenment. It was a special occasion every year. He has to go to inaugurate the youth festival of the kingdom. The story is beautiful. At this point, I think it becomes mythological, but it does not lose significance, it gains more significance. Gods in the heaven became very worried. 29 years have left, and they are waiting and waiting that this man is going to become a Buddha. Now he is married, has a child born just a day before. They managed a small strategy. An old man coughing with utterly sick appearance passed by the golden chariot, and Buddha asked his charioteer, Channa, what has happened to this man? The story is that Channa would not have said the truth. So a God spoke from inside Channa that this happens to everybody. This life is nothing but every moment a death. And he has reached to the last stage. Ahead of it is the graveyard. Buddha said, nobody told me anything about death. I have never heard about it. And they had managed a small procession of a dead man passing by the side of the chariot. And Buddha again asked, what has happened to this man? Why people are carrying him? And the God within spoke that, my Lord, this happens to everybody. Everybody is here to die. Life is only a prelude, a preface to death. Great transformation was happening in the mind of Buddha. And then suddenly he saw a sannyasin. He said, why he is wearing orange clothes? I have never seen anybody wearing orange clothes. And the gods spoke again that this man is in search of something deathless before death comes. This man wants to avoid death. This man wants to know not this ephemeral life, but the real life, the authentic life, which has no beginning, no end. He wants to know the existential, not this life which is made of the same stuff as dreams are made of. A great turning point. Buddha said to Channa, return back. I am not going to inaugurate the youth festival. I am no more young. If youth is going, old age is coming. Death is the only certainty in life. Then before time is lost, I want to seek and search the truth. That very night he escaped. And while he was escaping, he saw the beautiful women sleeping. Somebody's saliva is flowing. Somebody's one eye is open. For the first time he saw that these women or men are just skin bags. Behind it is hidden only a skeleton. If instead of Konda I was there, and if the king wanted his son not to be enlightened, I would not have suggested the solution. He became fed up with women, bored and tired. He became fed up with luxury. One becomes accustomed of everything. And the moment you are accustomed, it loses all juice. He has nothing to live in that palace. He never looked back. In the Buddhist scriptures, this sentence comes so beautifully. He never looked back because he has seen everything. All luxury, all comfort, all women, all food, all beautiful gardens, palaces. What is there to look back? The point is to find something ahead totally different from what he has been living up to now. He was asleep. A certain awakening has come to him. And now he wants this awakening to reach to its ultimate peak. Enlightenment is not something outside you, it is your own consciousness growing to ultimate potentiality. It is your own lotus flower that blossoms in the silences of your heart. Women have really supported men very much by nagging them, by torturing them, by harassing them. In a small school, the teacher was asking, can you name an animal who goes out of house as a lion and comes back as a rat? A small hand raised up. He said, I know him. He is my father. Outside he is a lion. Inside he is just a rat. And man has to be a rat inside. In fact, every husband is a hand-packed husband. It is just a way of adjusting. The whole day he is tired. So many things, so many ambitions, so many desires, so many conflicts. And when he comes home, the wife is ready, full of energy. Jaime Goldberg comes home wearing a new hat. My God, says Becky, where did you get that hat? At a clearance sale, replies Jaime. No wonder they wanted to clear it. Says Becky, it makes you look like an idiot. I know, says Jaime. Then why the hell, snaps Becky, did you buy it? I will tell you, replies Jaime. When I put it on and looked at myself in the mirror, I looked so stupid that to argue with the sales clerk was impossible. In fact, women should be given every honor for all the great awakened people. But to awake somebody else is charity. Man has not allowed women to become enlightened. Man has not allowed women anything that is her potential. In the whole history, at the most 10 women have become enlightened. The fact is very sad and miserable. These women must have been very rebellious. In the Vedas, there is one woman, Gargi, and you can see her courage. The king of those days, Janak, used every year a great conference of the wise ones to argue and discuss about the ultimate truth. He was himself very much a seeker. He wanted to listen all aspects, all different pathways. Yagnavalkya was one of the most important wise person. He had thousands of followers, and there was great prize also. Whoever is going to win in that great contest was going to have 1,000 cows standing outside the palace with their horns covered with thick gold. It was getting hot. Yagnavalkya told with his disciples that take these cows to the ashram. But they said, you have not won the debate. He said, that I will do later on. He was so confident, and everybody knew that he will win. So nobody objected. Not even the king, because this was absolutely not right to take the prize before you have even entered into the discussion. You have accepted yourself victorious already. And his disciples took away those 1,000 cows. And Yagnavalkya was winning over other learned people one by one. Whoever stood was defeated immediately. But he encountered for the first time a woman, Gargi. Gargi said that you will have to bring those cows back. You have not won the debate. I am here. I will ask few questions and you will be finished. Even Yagnavalkya became afraid. Nobody has behaved like this. And a woman, Gargi said, do you think God exists? Then give the evidence. There is no argument that can prove God's existence. Either you believe or you don't believe. But belief is not an argument. It is simply failure of your nerve. Yagvalkya remains silent. He asked, can you tell me, anybody created the world? He said, yes, God created the world. Gargi laughed. In this beautiful, auspicious occasion, his laughter, her laughter, was immensely beautiful. She said, are you sure? Were you a witness? Or have you any other witness who has seen you seeing God creating the world? Now this was difficult. Nobody has ever witnessed. And the problem was, if Yagnavalkya says, I witnessed, that means world was already created. What you were witnessing? You are the world. Certainly the beginning cannot be witnessed. And if it cannot be witnessed, it cannot be. And Gargi said, neither there is God, nor there is any beginning, nor there is any end. These are all parasite priests who have invented, imagined, propagated all kinds of nonsense and superstitions. Yagnavalkya was known to be a silent, peaceful man. He forgot all about silence and peace. And he says, Gargi, if you speak any other word, your head will fall on the earth. Now, the sword is not the argument. And Yagnavalkya has to return in deep shame those 1,000 cows. When they were returned, Gargi said, you can keep them. I am not interested in cows and gold. I was interested to see how much is your understanding. There have been few women Yagnavalkya, before leaving the world, to the forest to meditate, had two wives. And he said to them that you can divide all my possessions, which were big and huge. But one wife, Katyayani, said, if these possessions have not given you peace, do you think they will give me peace? If these possessions have not given you the truth, do you think they will give me the truth? I refuse. If you are going to meditate, I am going to meditate. Your going away proves that whatever we have been doing was futile. It does not create a connection with existence. It does not fill your heart with love and truth, with celebration. And as Yagnavalkya went to the mountains, Katyayani also went into another direction to the mountains. Few women have been of tremendous courage, but most of the women have been crippled by men. They have not been educated. They are not allowed to read the religious scriptures. They are not allowed any social contact. Half of the world has been cut away from the other half completely. This is the greatest slavery that has happened on this earth. All other slaveries are very small. But even with this slavery, women have asserted once in a while that shows the possibility. Rabia al-Adawiya in Saudi Arabia was one such woman. One day people saw him with a pot of water full in one hand and a torch burning into another, running through the marketplace. And they asked, Rabia, where are you going? He said, I am going to burn your paradise and I am going to drown your hell. These are all inventions of the priests in which they have managed the whole humanity to be enslaved. One mystic, Hassan, was staying with Rabia. He asked in the morning Rabia's copy of Quran Sharif, and he was shocked to see that Rabia has corrected many places in Quran. That is not done. Quran is God's word, God's only and the final Prophet Muhammad. You cannot improve upon it. That's why there are no commentaries on Quran. Many times, many Mohammedan friends have sent me Quran, beautifully printed, and asked me that if I can comment on Quran. I said, you have not commented for a different reason, because Mohammedans will not tolerate anybody commenting on the Quran. My reason is different. There is nothing to comment in it. But Al-Adawiya changed many words in Quran. Hassan was very much shaken. He said, Adawiya, somebody has destroyed your Quran. He said, nobody can even touch my Quran. I have corrected it wherever it was wrong. Hassan said, you think Quran can be wrong? Rabia said, the line you are reading is that when you meet devil, hate him, curse him. I have crossed it. Because when I became myself, when my own flame became a great light around me, I could see one thing: I can only love, I cannot hate. Even if devil comes stand before me, I will be loving, just the same as I will be loving if God is there. It is my own experience, and I have not to follow Quran. I have to correct Quran according to my experience. A man is not made by books. Books are made by men. Now such women show the indication that if man has not repressed them, my own understanding is more women would have become enlightened than men. Because man's mind is full of rubbish. And man's mind is much more outgoing. He may go to the Everest. Just think, Edmund Hillary is standing on the Everest. How stupid he must have looked. And for this, only 2 minutes he was on the Everest. He risked his life. Now people are going to the moon. The earth is in a mess, and people are thinking of going to Mars. You cannot put your home right, and people are trying to approach some other planet where living beings exist. Here in this world, there is no dialogue, there is no love. Because the woman is heart oriented. there is more possibility of her being awakened. Man is more logical, more arithmetical. Perhaps he can become a great scientist. But a woman is more poetic. Potentially, we have not allowed her. She can be a beautiful dancer. She can be a musician. She will open new avenues of enlightenment through the heart. Love will become her God. You know, Jesus said God is love. If it was written by a woman, she would have written, love is God. God must be secondary. It is a mental hypothesis. But love is a reality throbbing in every heart. We have seen people like Meera, but very courageous woman could manage to come out of the repressive social system. She could manage because she was a queen. Although her own family tried to kill her because she was dancing on the streets, singing songs, the family could not tolerate it, particularly in India and in Rajasthan. The woman is very much repressed. And a woman of the beauty of Meera dancing in the streets, singing songs of joy, there was a temple in Vrindavan where Krishna was resided. In his memory, a great temple was made. And the priest has to be a celibate. Now, celibacy is absolutely unnatural. It can drive you crazy into unnatural perversions. In that temple, no woman was allowed to enter. Women were only from the outside touched the steps of the temple. They never saw the statue of Krishna inside because the priest was very adamant. When Meera came, the priest became afraid that she will come to the temple. Two men with swords, naked swords, were placed before the gate to prevent Meera from coming in. But when Meera came, and such people are so rare, such a fragrance breeze, such a beautiful dance, such a song that brings into words that cannot be brought into words. Those two swordsmen forgot for what they are standing there. And the Meera danced into the temple. It was the time for the priest to worship Krishna. His plate full of flowers fell on the ground as he saw Meera. He was utterly angry, and he said to Meera that you have broken a rule of hundreds of years. She said, what rule? The priest said, no woman can enter here. And can you believe the answer? This is the courage. Meera said, then how you entered here? Except one, the ultimate, the beloved. Everybody is a woman. Do you think there are two men in the world, you and the ultimate? Forget all this nonsense. Certainly, she was right. A woman with full of heart looks at existence as a beloved. And existence is one. There have been few other women, Sajo, but they are very few. It is a condemnation of man that you did not allow a woman to become a Gautam Buddha, that you did not allow a woman to become a Lao Tzu. The crime is so big that it is incalculable. And Milarepa, you are asking, theoretically speaking, enlightenment in women are just great. But what about practically speaking? Practically speaking also they are great. And the day woman's greatness will be accepted, her uniqueness will be accepted, her freedom, her individuality will be respected, the world will be filled with more love, with more flowers, with more fragrance. What man has been doing down the ages except fighting, and what man's genius has been doing except creating more and more dangerous, destructive weapons. They are not satisfied with nuclear weapons which exist today, they are enough to kill the whole earth 7 times. I don't understand what is the point now piling up more and more nuclear weapons. There is only one instance of Jesus who resurrected and may have needed a second killing. But ordinarily people die only once. And the fact is, neither Jesus was resurrected. He never died. He was taken out of the cross before he could have died. The Jewish cross is such that it takes 48 hours a person to kill, because slowly blood flows out of the body. And Jesus was young, only 33 years, healthy, and he was taken out after 6 hours. It was a conspiracy between his disciples and the Roman governor of Judea. Judea was under slavery, and the governor was not interested in killing an innocent man who has not done anything. And if he believes that he is the Son of God, who is preventing you? You can believe. You can believe you are Father of God. Just a little imagination. He has not done anything wrong. He was just a little crazy. And took things literally. But he was not a criminal. So this arrangement was made. Jesus was brought down after 6 hours, and in 6 hours nobody can die on a Jewish cross. And he was put in a cave, and the guards were Romans. So in the night he was removed. He died in India, in Kashmir. As he became healed, he escaped. And Kashmir was one of the parts where Jews were living for hundreds of years. When Moses was finding the God's city, the God's land Israel, a tribe of the Jews got lost. In fact, Moses reached at a wrong place. Israel is not worth anything. The last tribe reached Kashmir, and Kashmir is certainly the most beautiful place in the world. if anything can be said, God's land, then Kashmir is. Moses himself came to look for the last tribe, and he died in Kashmir. It is strange that the Moses and Jesus both died in Kashmir, and there are every evidence their graves I have been. In India, nobody writes Hebrew, and those graves are not Mohammedans, because Mohammedans' graves have to made in a way so the head is always pointing towards Mecca. Those two graves are not Mohammedan graves. And the person who takes care of those graves has been left by the Mohammedans to remain a Jew. Otherwise, Mohammedans converted the whole Kashmir. But you can convert people's religion, you cannot convert their noses. Their noses, so they are Jews. Just look at the nose of Jawaharlal Nehru or Indira Gandhi. These are Kashmiris. And you will not believe they are Brahmins, but they eat meat. No Brahmin eats meat in India. But because they were basically Jews and then became Mohammedans or remained Hindus, but the basic non-vegetarian food continued. A very detailed analysis is needed, which Christianity prevents. Because if it is known that it is certainly Jesus and Moses' graves, then it will become a holy place for Christians, for Jews both. And you should remember that Jesus was never a Christian. He was born a Jew, lived a Jew, died a Jew. He never heard anything about these idiot Polak popes. In this beautiful morning, in this silence, in these beautiful sounds of the birds. It is out of place to talk about serious things. So now few really non-serious things in tune with this beautiful morning. Don't destroy it by sermons. Somewhere in a little sack in the middle of Australia, Bruce, Edna, and their daughter Shirley have finished their kangaroo stew dinner and are arguing about who is going to do the washing up. There is a big fight, and finally Bruce suggests that they all lie down on the floor, and the first person to move does the dishes. The same night, MR.Mind.Average is driving his old pickup nearby when the radiator overheats. He sees the sack and walks over there to get some water. Going into the shack, he finds everyone lying on the floor. So he decides to help himself to water. On his way to the kitchen, he steps over Shirley and in a moment of passion jumps on her and fucks her. He gets up from Shirley and finds Edna on the kitchen floor. The temptation is too great and for Hamish, and he jumps on Edna too. Then he takes some water back to his car, but while he is filling the radiator, he burns his arm. Hamish rushes into the shack and cries out, "Have you got any Vaseline?" Hearing this, Bruce jumps up and yells, "Okay, okay, I will do the dishes." Paddy and Sean are deep in the mountains on a hunting trip. When they stop to rest, Paddy gazes at Sean and says, "You know, I'm a pretty big fellow. If I had a heart attack or broke a leg, how would you get me out?" "Don't worry," replies Sean. "Last year I shot a 1,600-pound elk way back in the hills. and got it out all right. How did you manage that? Asked Paddy. Simple, says San. It took me 12 trips. Paddy goes to the horse races in Dublin. In the evening, he walks into a pub and orders a large brandy for himself and drinks for everyone in the bar. And have one yourself, he tells the bartender generously. Half an hour later, the order is repeated, and this goes on all evening until at closing time the bartender taps Paddy on the shoulder. I hope you don't mind my mentioning it, he says, but your bill comes to 200 pounds. Does it? Asks Paddy. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, because I have not got a penny. The bartender leaps over the bar and starts to beat Paddy and eventually kicks him out of the door into the street. The next evening, the pub is just opening when Paddy walks in. A large brandy for me, he announces, and drinks for everyone in the bar. But I'm not giving you one, he says to the barman. After a couple of drinks, you get very nasty.